We find ourselves here once again watching some more Sayonara Zetsubou Sensei, and if every other episode I've actually seen is anything to go by, I'm not going to understand a sodding thing. But it should be somewhat entertaining, and hopefully you will all agree with me. So, try and strap in, see the follies of man, its characters, and society. Let's enjoy some Zetsubou Sensei. I will dare say that I'm looking forward to this. Great, we're getting more recap of stories that we have not been privy to. Now, what recap is this story actually for? Temple carcass underwater? I mean, anything could be cultish if said with enough passion, I guess. But to go from racing pigeons to underwater meditation and then taxi driving? What's a story that goes across the ages? Every time I see this, it just makes me think that the anime has got to have a little bit of fun while doing this. But also the pain and turmoil of having to draw some of these actual bits of imagery. Also, I don't think this opening for the most part is quite as memorable for me as some of the others, but Zetsubou Sensei always has music that is along my wavelength. I don't know what that says about me. But what kind of nightmarish creatures are we going to be shocked with in this episode? Christmas? We're getting things ready for Christmas already. Well, shops around here have already started stocking Christmas stuff, and it was only just the end of September, not too long back. Who? I mean, marks the start of the season. Who put the tree up if they didn't install a switch to turn it on? Troublesome? Oh, this can cause a safety hazard right there. Yes, the secret underground Christmas tunnels. Well, that looks like fun. Just gotta test them all. Huh? Happy switch? Please just toggle that one again. We need to mute that. If we all have our own inherent switches, what traits would be drawn out of us? But that was her primary character trait, wasn't it? I mean, when it comes to paying tax, yeah, I can understand why many people would be easily aggravated and have their heckles aggravated by it. Pika. And is he going into full storytelling mode again? Wow, that seems like a... I mean, socks aren't that hard to come by, aren't they? Are they? Okay. Maybe he could turn it into a long-told Christmas story which goes down and gets a movie deal. We're getting into the underbelly of society. Ah! And he is going to change his ways. Quick, find what's going on before she's affected as well. And so this seems like a bigger issue than well, her switch might not be specifically pushed. Her protectors. Yeah. Much visual storytelling and jokes there. How does... You know what? I'm not going to get into colour theory and how that affects someone's gender. What? I guess, yeah, painting someone isn't quite as violent as hitting them. Or is she going to be turned into some copper at the end of this? She's going around being a trouble to society. Great. We're getting an ever shipping. Keep away of any words with a hard X in them. Got it. Yeah, what could go wrong with a calculator as long as you don't divide by 0? That would make sense of how the... Maybe not that one. But it would make sense of how the stock market is actually controlled if it's just some dog's nose. Yeah, keep putting out some insane hypotheses and somewhere... Why is Maria down here? And somewhere she's going to get one correct at least. Some things are better off left unknown. The fact she's putting those flyers around town. Actually makes him weak in the knees. But it might be a way to stop people from doing it if you... Maybe it was a one-time deal. The government changes? Oh, so it is her fault. Usually there's at least some meaning behind the stories in this show, but the switches, I'm not entirely sure. The last-minute indecisiveness, choosing for him. I don't think that has really happened to me. It's either I go with neither, or just go, yeah, that one will do. And let me guess, she gets ramen. Yeah, not quite the same as any of the others. I'm not entirely sure what it is per se, but what's with this? He wants to be a million. Just has he used all of his lifelines? Final answer, and it was C or A. Maybe it was B. Ah, Yotta. When you're unsure, undecided, sometimes the surprise answer can get you out of a pickle. It also can lose you thousands and thousands of yen. And how lucky it would be to be that third choice, the accidental solution, and you get a bike. How many... Was there just going on in the background as well? But yeah, how many mosaics of despair are they going to be? Who organised this town and put out the building and infrastructure placements? They are choice-free city. What is this Silent Hill development? Has he ever accepted anything before? Niz. It is somewhere in the middle. How to be completely uncertain in your answer. I would rather not make any decisions, actually. Leave. I thought we had escaped it. No. Yeah, I would rather not make decisions, let everyone else do it for me. Makes life slightly easier. The name? How does she know this? Did she speak to the parents directly? I mean, go around it. We've seen that just impressive style choices before. Either way, no matter what he chooses there, it was a loss. She is spoiled for choice. Can we move on from this now? It's when there's nothing but unfair choices or bad endings, it doesn't really matter what you choose. Modern. Kind of reminds me when I was in high school and was asked which language, we had to learn a language, which language do you want to learn? The choice really didn't matter because the teacher left, so we were forced to do German. Just bury himself in the... I mean, to not get arrested, fair choice. Some of these don't seem to be indecisiveness. They seem more like indicative of deeper mental issues. But she says it was such a calming tone. There's the teacher we know. Somewhere in the middle, coma. Ah, to go back. If you can, if you could just reverse time like that and try once more. I mean, she does everything so fervently and... She's not cleaning that. The indecisiveness of them all is... Sudden beach scene? Where did this spring from? Also, was that his body double replacement back again? I wouldn't say normally people have body doubles taking their place. What does he think is actually out to get him, though? Then again, it could just be wanting some time off. What? To be fair, certain countermeasures, as was stated, are for a reason. The amount of stories I've seen recently of people destroying historical artifacts, or at least engraving their names into them. Probably best to err on the side of caution. What the hell? Protective group in a beach hut? No roughhousing. Which means he just needs to either be completely perfect or rough them up first. Hang on, who's got the rifle? He can keep the job for a little bit longer. Well, considering the students and some of the attempts on his life so far, he needs as many doubles as he can get. So a full nanny state? It depends on what is being protected. Ah. Against the sun. It's harmful rays. I protect myself from that by not going outside. Seems quite effective. The old ways, the comics. It might be worth something in years to come. Keep in mind, would we want to read a book that was written by him? I mean, sure, but if you try and get full market value, you want as many copies sold as possible. Huh. Reminds me that there's some kind of memorabilia stuff that I want. Hopefully it's someone out there has kept it safe and been protective of it. I think from 2001? 2? It's going to be difficult to find. But we go from the multiple choices and inevitability of indecisiveness, choosing the outside option that seems to stem from nowhere, into being overburdening, overprotective. Just what vices and switches are we going to have shown off in future episodes? Or personally. Although I'm sure there's a few people who do know one or two things that could set me off easily. I do like that a lot of Zetsubou Sensei's jokes in this show are kind of visual storytelling, wordplay that I don't always understand, and more of a head scratcher than a full belly laugh. When you get a story again, let's see your artistic talent. Close enough. Something tells me he's taking a little artistic liberties, though. So, to be fair, these aren't the worst attempts at the drawings I've seen. Drawing on a whiteboard is difficult, to be fair. Was that about Stepmother and why is the red twine of fate? It was quite difficult to pay attention to the episode today, partly because directly behind my PC, my cat was trying to escape out of the window and damage my curtains. But as far as a physical switch in reality to alter people's mind states and set them off on a tangent or another, I think I'd be rather disappointed if mine was just a simple light switch. I want a personalised one, maybe not with my face on. Be a little on the nose then. But when it comes to festivities and having the grand, switch on ceremony, don't know if you know if they do make a big song and dance out of it here. But I know that, especially where I used to live, there used to be a celebration for Christmas. I mean, all the switching on all of the lights. Hopefully with better wiring than what we saw in this episode, though. It really wouldn't go down well, so many tripping hazards around. And also when it comes to indecisiveness, which was a part of this episode as well, trying to remember back just a few instances that happened not too long ago. When it comes to option A or option B, my thought process usually just goes, if I can't figure it out, neither, and try and work out another day, or as it has happened recently, A, B, can't decide, I'll get both. Can't go wrong there, other than hurting the bank balance a little. Could never be disappointed if you just get every option available. Not sure that works with every occasion, though. But at least you wouldn't be left holding a vitamin drink or something when you wanted a can of Coke. But Zetsubou Sensei is a tough one to talk about after the episode because it's just a almost incoherent collection of skits and puns loosely based around a somewhat plot point, while also trying to shove in as many chopsticks in dogs and the occasional lawsuit with certain camera angles and underwear. But if that's the anchor point we have to understand everything and draw us back in, yes, back to familiar territory with Zetsubou Sensei. Well, it's managed to do that, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. But with all that said, there's only so much we can take in at once. And considering there are certain characters which are kind of underutilized in most of the story other than their little side cutaway gags, I used to think, maybe we want to see a bit more of this, and now, maybe not so much. Being a Hikikomori has really done a number on that girl. But Zetsubou Sensei is amusing, if nothing else, and hopefully you have enjoyed at least some of it. If that is the case, you better let me know. I need all the support as I can get. If I've entertained you, leave a like on the video. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. If I missed something, which I definitely did, let me know down below. But other than checking the description for links to Discord or anything else that might catch your fancy, try and get some rest. Stay somewhat level-headed. Don't have whatever switches that control you flipped. Unless you're into that sort of thing. I'm not one to judge. But I'll see you in the next one. I know that most of you made your way here, not because I'm your first or even second choice, but because you were backed into a corner, and that led you right to me. And even so, I hope you enjoyed yourself, and especially to those that are helping support the channel, which are Sao, Guado, Kite, Ruben Filamawa, Wolfie Sensei, and everyone else. Because without you, this channel would not survive, no matter how many switches get flipped.